There's no more of a broken scenario. Quite like Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, one would say. I mean,
saying it can't be put back together again?
Baker's the one who pulled a Costanza. He's the one who said, you're breaking up with me, I'm breaking up with you first. I'm going to beat you to the punch. I'm going to send out a letter to Cleveland. Let's not forget that all happened when Deshaun Watson was being wooed by multiple teams, 2 in the NFC South, Atlanta and New Orleans, and the Cleveland Browns. And as a matter of fact, he sent that letter to Cleveland out. Let's just go through the timeline here. He sent that letter to Cleveland out, breaking up with the Browns, while the Browns were talking to Watson. And the day after that letter to Cleveland came out, the news came out that Deshaun told the Browns they're out. It's going to be between either Atlanta or New Orleans. And we came on this show talking about how this diehard rivalry that runs underneath the radar in the NFL, because we're so focused on Bears, Packers, and we're focused on, choose it an NFC East or AFC East because we're all East Coast biased sports media members talking about those rivalries. Runs underneath the radar, Atlanta and New Orleans, how much they hate each other. It's like how Watson's going to tilt this rivalry considerably in his choice, and then he chooses the Browns anyway. But in between all that, there was a period of time where the Browns thought they were out. Mayfield had already broken up with them, and the idea was the Browns are now going to have to back channel in some way to Baker and say, can we still be friends? Because we kind of told you at the Combine that we were going to do this. We told your agent at the Combine that we were going to investigate it if it was possible. And we all remember that the week before, the Browns and Falcons and Saints sent everybody from owner, general manager, coach to Deshaun Watson and his owner and his management teams to say, we want you. The week before that is when there was no indictment that came out of a grand jury in the state of Texas in this case that still has 4 open civil lawsuits accusing Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct. Still open right now. Well, let's not forget there was that 24-hour period where the Browns were like, maybe we can get back together. So here we are on this day, the 28th of June. Here we are on this day in which Deshaun Watson is having a hearing about his looming suspension with the independent arbiter that has been hired by the Players Association and the NFL to handle such disciplinary matters placed in front of her. Sue Robinson, everybody. She is going to be hearing from the league and the Players Association and apparently Rusty Hardin, his lawyer, Watson's lawyer, about the suspension that is coming. Oh, and it's coming. On this day, Baker Mayfield apparently having a youth football camp in Oklahoma. And he was asked about a possible rapprochement. How about, let's just say,
big word alert.
Oh, yes, big word alert. A little kumbaya, to use a different generational phrase. He was asked, is it possible if the suspension of Watson is so significant? Let's just call it the playing season. If it is so significant, would he consider actually coming back and doing it all again for the old Cleveland Browns? And his answer was no. This is according to Carrie Murdoch, who placed this quote on Twitter. He's calls himself he's a publisher of @Sooner Scoop. Okay, he's quoting Mayfield as saying, "No, I think for that to happen, there would have to be some reaching out, but we're ready to move on. I think on both sides." Asked if a reconciliation could be reached if Watson had to sit out this season. Now, him saying no, and then I think that has to be reach out to me. That's An ajar door, would you not say?
Small crack.
Well, it's a crack.
Small.
This is a guy who told Cleveland, I'm out, before the Browns said we're in with Watson. And as a matter of fact, the day before Watson said, I'm out with you, Cleveland, until Cleveland says, how does every dollar guaranteed, how does the best contract in the history of National Football League players, how about that? How about let me, with all these lawsuits around you and no clue as to what else could possibly be out there, or if you, who we've kind of just met, are telling me the truth, and I don't know your tells just yet, how about I just cut about $1.80 and stick it in escrow, believing in you? How about all that? Before the Browns said that, Mayfield said he had been out. And basically told the Browns at the time, where they had a 24-hour period, saying that maybe we'll just go back to Baker Mayfield, pound sand. This is not a pound sand. This is, they have to reach out to me first. But they haven't reached out to him yet at all, apparently. They've told him don't have to even come to mandatory camps. So he's saying they've kind of moved on. I think I've moved on too. But him saying they have to reach out to me first makes me think that maybe, just maybe, there's a small part of him that thinks, I'm not going to Carolina. I'm not going to Seattle either just yet. And I don't know if I want to even go to both of those places. Or honestly, I feel for this guy. Maybe his head's been so damn messed with because he's sitting at home waiting for his future to be decided. But he's under contract currently to the Cleveland Browns for $18 million and change. $18 million and change. Add that to the $46 million that the Browns are paying Deshaun Watson this year. And by the way, no matter what comes out of this ruling today, or whatever comes out of the hearing today, the ruling's no doubt going to be, I'm assuming, another day than today. No matter what comes out, suspension, 8 games, 10 games, full season, or an open-ended suspension that the league has apparently whispered to other members of the NFL media world that it could be one of those deals where he's out indefinitely and he'll have to reapply for reinstatement next year. If it's any of those, any of them, I don't know if Mayfield's coming back or would even entertain coming back, or if the Browns feel that door is closed because Jacoby Brissett can run this offense. And he has played an entire year as a starter in the National Football League. He has done that. He has won some games. Is he going to win your Super Bowl? Could he be the 21st century Jeff Hostetler? Of course. You never know idea in the NFL. That's the beauty of this league, in this game. You never know. Well, that's doubtful. So as of right now, on June 28th, the day that Deshaun Watson is having a hearing about his discipline on all of these cases that still haven't been completely settled, and we still don't know what else is happening. And this has now gone to a point where Ashley Solis, the first masseuse who filed suit against Watson, is now filing suit against the Houston Texans based on the New York Times reporting by Jenny Vrentas saying that not only did the Texans security provide him with a non-disclosure agreement to hand to his masseuses, the multiple ones who he met on Instagram before they work on him, or, allegedly he works on them. Here's an NDA. You might want to give this to them to sign. That came from the Texans security, apparently. And some of these massages were taking place in a club in Houston where he had a room allegedly, reportedly arranged by the Texans. So the Texans think they're out. Deshaun Watson keeps pulling them back in. On this day, though.
On this day.
June 28th, 2022. There are 2 quarterbacks on the Cleveland Browns roster that the Browns owe $65 million to. And they might not play a single snap for them this year. Which may wind up being the most Cleveland Browns thing ever by the end of the day. Figuratively and maybe quite literally. So that's what's up there.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. where Mayfield is like, no, but they'd have to reach out to me first. Man, if I'm him, I am hoping to go to Seattle. That's where I'm hoping to go. I'm hoping to go to Seattle. I'm hoping Pete and John Schneider are like, yeah, the Drew Lock and Geno Smith competition. Yeah, that's not what we're cut out for right here. Baker goes there, and there's DK when hopefully he's happy. And, there is that running game. There's Tyler Lockett, and there's Pete always competing, meaning there's somebody that they've drafted that we have no idea how good they can be until they find out, and they usually do up there. Kenny Walker from Michigan State. See, if I'm Baker, I want to go there where I'm kind of like mostly left alone, and I could just focus on my craft for 1 year and see if I can be the guy for the future for Seattle. And Seattle winds up getting the first overall pick of the draft from 5 years ago, and he gets a second act there a la Drew Brees. That might be the most rosy scenario possible. But if I'm Baker, I'm telling the Browns, thanks, but no thanks. Get me out. I want no part of that at all. I want no part of you anymore. I want no part of that anymore. And, if he had said that, though, people would be accusing him of being a drama king, and so I think he played it by half measure. No, they'd have to reach out to me first, but it seems like we've all moved on. Now let me go teach these kids something.